Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Great Redhead Podcast with me, Mr. James Reid. A stage name I took on many moons ago when I decided to shave my hair off for charity for a local cancer support group. And ever since then, I've had the stage name of the Great Redhead. So 11 years this year will be the date I decided to shave my hair off for the first time, and the event was called the Great Redhead Shave. So I took the mantle of the Great Redhead and made it my stage name, and 11 years on, it is still my stage name. It's not because I think I'm super fantastic or anything like that. It's just the fact that I have red hair. I'm great at singing. I'm a great entertainer. I'm going to take you back 11 years to the night before, the day of, the night of, the night after. Let's have a look at a few snaps. Okay, here, here's the first little picture I want to show you. This is me. I call this picture the Last Supper because I was having a meal and I knew the night was the last night I would have hair. So here I am, mid-shave. The length of my hair, jeez, you don't realise how long your hair is till you shave it off. But anyway, and the man himself, Pat the barber, been cutting hair now almost 40 years in the town, an absolute legend, and no doubt about it, he has been everyone's barber at one stage, I can guarantee, because he was one of the only barbershops in the town at the time. Well, 40 years ago is a long time. There I am, flip side, shaved, bald, and Pat only loving it, the figure. And there I am with Eamon Gregory, who was a barman in the location at the time. So there I am with a full head of hair, and there I am next to him with a bald head of hair. So here I am, a few days later, handing the money over. As you can see, the Great Redhead Shave wrote down in the corner of the picture. So the Great Redhead was taken, and this is Mary, the lady over the cancer support group here, and Declan Kenny, the boss of the pub at the time. So there we are, handing over the check. A little bit of money was made, so it was nice, you know. And here I am, a few days later, with a Mach 3 jobby on my head. I was like, nah, if I'm going to go bald, I'm going to go bald. None of this double crap. So I got out the razor blade and the Mach 3. The Mach 3. Skin tight. Mach 27. And you have no skin left. Anyway, so there I am, bald. And here I am, 11 years later, getting a trim from the man himself, Pat the barber, Pat Byrne. So full circle of the Great Redhead name, 11 years, where it started as a charity event for a local cancer support group. And it's been going since 11 years now. Not that I haven't been singing or entertaining more than 11 years. I've been doing it almost 20 years now. So I've decided to take the stage name, use it as my podcast name, and start a little journey. I'm going to sit down and have a few chats with people. You may know them. I may know them. We both may not know them. But we're going to hear their story and their journey together. So without hesitation, let's get into the first episode. Hi everybody, welcome to the Great Redhead Podcast with me, Mr. James Reid. The pilot episode of this podcast I've decided to take a journey on. And my first guest, the legend herself, renowned around the town, renowned around the country, Mary Hickey. Mary, welcome to the show.
Delighted to be here, Jimmy, and delighted to be on your first podcast.
It's an absolute honour. I couldn't have thought of anybody else that I would have wanted to be on my first podcast. But tell us about the running and the age you started running at, please.
Well, I was 16 when I started, and there was no athletics in Arklow or around the town. And two Arklow women, Breda Sinnott and Nancy Quinn, were ahead of their time, really. They set up St. Benedict's AC, and I wandered out. It was in the dog track, as it used to be, and I wandered out there one evening, a summer's evening, in my mohair jumper and my jeans. And I was standing at the gate and thought, no, I think I'll go home because I was quite shy. And I thought, Nancy or Breda tapped me on the shoulder and asked me who I was. And I said, Mary Nolan. My brother John was a good runner. Turned me around and said, well, you should be able to run. Stuck me on the start line of a little race. I think it was maybe 2 laps of the grass. And I finished second in that. And that was me, kind of hooked, really, you know. Never did I think I'd still be doing it, like nearly 60 years later.
And you're the only lady to run every Dublin City Marathon of 26 miles from
Yeah.
1980 at
Yeah.
the age of 27. You started?
I started a marathon running at 27. I had been doing track and field for about 12 years, and then somebody invented the Dublin City Marathon. And I saw it in an RTE guide, and I just thought, I wonder could I do that? But I wasn't even sure how far a marathon was. So I entered it. Back then, you filled in a big form and you posted it off. These days, you can't get into the Dublin Marathon. There's that many in it. But back then, the first one that I went in, there was only 40 women in it and less than 2,000 people. And we had no clue what we were doing. There was no schedules, there was no Garmins, there was no fancy things.
No fancy runners?
No fancy runners. It was lovely though, because I trained. I didn't do enough training like most people who are doing the first marathon. I had one 18-mile run behind me, and it was from Tinnahealy to Arklow. And somewhere along that road, I climbed into a field and I literally cried because how am I going to get home? But I got home, and then I went to the start line of the Dublin Marathon, and it was like going into a big black hole, because you hadn't done it before. You had no advice. You had no idea what way it was going to go. But, it went okay. It was tough, and my legs were cramping up near the end, but I got around it in 3:38, I think. I was very happy with that. As I said, we were very thin on the ground. People were looking at you and say, what the hell are these people doing? It was very new.
But I say it was a lot different than lining up in a 6-lane race with someone, or an 8-lane race with someone, lining up with hundreds behind you and around you, at a start finish line. And I say that the difference of that was unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. But in the early days, us as females, we were kind of looked down upon. What are you doing here? There's so many men running, but there wasn't that many. But even there wasn't thousands of men back then. But it was definitely the majority were male athletes. And I do remember going to some races and running quite well, but I'm chasing the first woman, trying to finish in a good position. But some of the guys in the races back then didn't like it at all. And they didn't like you being ahead of them, and they'd be racing you. And I'm there thinking, why are you racing me? I'm not racing you.
Yeah.
What they used to say back then, the guys, some of them used to say, I don't want to be chicked.
Yeah.
They called it chicked. I don't want to be chicked. I don't want a woman, a female coming in ahead of me. But that's all changed, thank goodness,
Was it harder for women to get into sports or the athletics clubs back then? Was it different? Men can run, they're different, built different, aren't they, men?
But there was more sport for the male back then. It's just the way it was. Women, we were like the new people. We weren't expected to be able to run a marathon, and it turns out women are really fantastic at running marathons. So there was a little bit. I do remember myself and Tony staying in a hotel in Dublin for the second Dublin Marathon, and we were at breakfast, and there was about 8 guys around the table, and myself and Tony, and the lads were all talking about what times they're going to do and what they're going to do, and they were totally ignoring me sitting there. And one of them, I think it was the third Dublin Marathon, one of them turned around and he said, aren't you great to be up here to support your husband? And I just turned around and said, no, actually, I said, I'm doing the marathon. Oh, are you? And they were talking about the times they were going to do. And one of them said, well, what time are you hoping to go around in? I said, well, I did 2:57 last year. Well, that silenced the table. It's just, we were we were the first women to be doing marathons. So we were kind of like, the beginning of the marathon in Ireland. Yeah. But it's changed now. The respect from the guys, it's all equal now. I know the best marathon runner in Arklow, Alan Duffy, at the moment, he's the best man in Arklow running marathons. Last year when Alan was doing the Dublin Marathon, I had said to Alan, what's your plan, Alan? And he said, well, I have a bit of a plan. He said, and that is to stick with the first Irish women, because they are going to run a really good marathon. And Alan stuck with them. Yeah. And the little girl from down the country, Ava Crane, she won. And she was only 19. The second girl was 44. And Alan was right there with them. So when I knew they were coming in, because I didn't do it this year, I ran down because I knew Alan, if he stuck to his plan, be coming in with them. And he did. So he got a PB in the marathon, chasing the top Irish women.
Yeah, it was a great one. And like that with the track and field, I think kind of Sonia O'Sullivan kind of put Ireland on the map for that, didn't she?
Sonia, Katrina, and there was some great women, Kerry May. There was women that we don't know of now. Before them as well, they were very, very good. So we've had some fantastic women. But again, I'm going back to in the beginning, if you were listening to, say, RTE on a Sunday and the national cross country had been on a Sunday, and they would read out the results and they would say first man home, second man home, third man home. And that'd be the end of the sports results. They wouldn't even mention
the women.
Top women, which that's all. Thank God it's all changed.
The women nearly get mentioned first now these days.
We have some fantastic athletes, male and female at the moment. We have great.
But even in every field, like with boxing and all sorts, golf and all, like we have so much sports there. And I just want to ask you about your lap at the map.
Oh, that was something else. That was unbelievable. That turned out to be 100% more than I expected it to be. I mean, I left Arklow. I had been running a marathon in it's called the Lap of the Gap, which is up in Glendalough, and it was a horrendous day in April. And I was running that marathon, and the rain was thumping down. And I remember someone had said to me that week, "What race were you doing at the weekend, Mary?" And I made a bit of a slip. I said I was running the Lap of the Map. And once that little worm got into my head, I said, why did I say that? For about 6 months, it was in my head and I didn't say it out loud because once I say something out loud, the kind of person I am, I'd have to do it. And I said it to my best friend, Anne-Marie. And I said, Anne-Marie said, how are you going to do that, Mary? She said, you get lost in the supermarket. How the hell are you going to do that? And I said, very simple, Anne-Marie. We live on an island. I live in Arklow. The sea's on my right. If I leave Arklow and keep the sea on my right and I just keep going and nothing happens, I'll end up back in Arklow because it is an island.
Yeah.
And that was the attitude I actually had in my head.
And was it, how many, it was 56, was it? No? Days, how many days was it?
I actually was out 100 and something days, but I wasn't running every day.
Yeah.
My backup team, I didn't have a backup team when I started to plan this. I just had a map and a pencil and I was drawing circles on the map. But a few people got behind me, girls got behind me and started planning out for me and planning where I might be able to stay. And off I went on day one, as you know, left from the RNLI station in Arklow and just kept going. And day one, Arklow to Greystones, day two, Greystones to Hote, day three, Hote to Skerries to Clogherhead. And I was keeping a little diary, but I lost. My mind nearly went in Clogherhead. I said, I'm not writing anything else down, which is a pity because I didn't record. I just kept going. But my God, the support I got.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like I was following you, obviously. And why the RNLI? What was the choice for that? Was it just because the stops of all the lighthouses or the lightbar houses?
I had been doing a bit of rowing, coastal rowing with Eamon and Peter Kavanagh. And when the Père Charles and that other boat went down in West Cork, that boat was on our quayside, sitting there. And every time we rowed in, it was very emotional. Eamon would stop and we'd do a minute's silence. And I'd just thought, Jesus, the tragedies that had happened.
Yeah.
And when I thought of the event, I thought, well, why would you run around the coast of Ireland, first of all? And then I thought, well, you have to do it for a charity. And of course, RNLI popped straight into my head because I'm going around the coast.
Yeah.
And I visualised myself coming into little towns in the winter because I left on New Year's Day, didn't I? But I visualised coming into little towns, absolutely wet, like a rag, and looking for hostels. And I didn't have to put my hand in my pocket.
Yeah.
The people around the whole coast of Ireland were looking after me. I was on my own, but I was never on my own, if you know what I mean.
I know, yeah.
You know?
But the RNLI, like it's touched a lot of people, like even in Arklow with the lifeboat service. Yeah. Do you think the RNLI are underfunded?
Well, you see, the RNLI look after themselves kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think
they're not government based.
No, I don't think so. I think they like being in control of what they're doing as well, you know, because sometimes too much control gets in the way of things. But they're probably underfunded.
Yeah.
But I think the communities do their best to look after them as well. Very costly to keep them boats underwater and very costly to keep the training going and the fuel and the outfits and all the safety. So it's a fantastic organisation. You only think about them when you hear of the tragedies.
Exactly.
Or they have to go.
I was on the boat myself. It's on, like, when you go into it, like, it's just,
A spaceship.
You're like, there's buttons here, there's windows there, there's levers here. And you're like Father Dougal in Don't Press the Button, and there's
don't do that. Don't do this.
So how much money did you make on the lap of the map?
I thought if I pushed it up around 20 grand, I'd be happy. But we ended up with about 72,000 as far as I know. And now it came in online, and I remember running in the muck and the rain in Mayo down this little country road one day, and ahead of me down the road, I could see this little man coming out of his little bungalow with his bike and his clips on his thing and a plastic bag hanging out of the handlebars. And as I was approaching him, he put his hand out to me like that. And I thought, this man actually...
Fist pumping you, was he?
This man knows I'm coming. He handed me, in coins, €5. He must have had the laptop or something. He knew I was coming. But all the little schools around the coast were using my lap as their geography lesson.
All right.
So I'd be coming in up little villages in the middle of nowhere, and all I'd hear in the background was little voices going, Mary, Mary. I'd come around the corner and they're out with banners and the whole lot. So obviously I'd have to stop and go in and have a cup of tea and have a chat.
Of course.
But it was it was just like how it all actually came together was amazing.
And like it is quite amazing. Like when you put it into perspective.
Yeah.
Like how many miles was the lap of the map?
Do you know what? I have it at home somewhere, and it is up. It's on my Facebook thing. I think it was 1,500 and something miles.
Jesus.
But every day was a new adventure, and every day I didn't realise till I was literally coming down the Wild Atlantic Way. I think I must have been nearly down in Galway before I realised what is it about this that is special. And because I was every day concentrating on getting sleep, getting food, get up, get moving, get going. 9 a.m. in the morning, you start every morning, 9 a.m., you keep going and get to your target place. So I was so busy concentrating on what I was trying to do that I don't think I started to appreciate what was happening.
Yeah.
And then I did. And suddenly I realized what was special about it was the people.
Yes.
All the people in the little communities. Yeah. I come into little communities that don't have a school anymore, they don't have a church, they don't have a post office. They don't have, their little communities are destroyed because that's the way it is now.
Yeah.
And like I was like a little bit special coming into these towns, and people, I remember one time I went to a little quiet little pub, I don't even know where it was, and they had the teapot out and the sandwiches, and it was just so special. You were
It's
treated.
like running a marathon and someone handing you a bottle of water, except it's a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Yeah. One of the funniest things that happened to me was up in, I think I had left the Downings in Donegal, I think that's what it's called, and it was a bit like yesterday, it was a horrendous day.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go out in it. And I was running, and I realised my bag had been moved forward to my next destination, but I think it was Dunfanaghy or somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was running, and I realised the weather is getting to me now. It's getting in. I'm getting really cold here. It was crossways wind, really cold. And I thought, I'm in trouble. And I went into a little shop. It was a Sunday, I remember. And I just said to the lady, a young girl behind the counter, can I have a plastic bag? And she just looks at me and she goes, what? I said, I'm just looking for one plastic bag. And it was an older lady behind. And she said, are you really just looking for a plastic bag? I said, yeah, big one. So she gave me a big clear plastic bag. And then I said, have you marigold gloves? He gave me the marigold gloves. I said, now, do you have a toilet? And I went in, talk about being Superman. I went into the toilet. I had one dry top in my little backpack, one dry, in a plastic bag. I took off all the wet gear, put the one dry top on, put all the wet gear over the dry top, put the plastic bag over the dry top, and then put all the wet gear back over the plastic bag.
That sounds awful.
It does. Came back out on the road, and I thought, now, let's see, because my core temperature, I knew it had dropped, and I knew I was heading for hypothermia if I didn't get myself right. Put the marigold gloves on, the wet gloves over the marigolds, and off I went. The crowd in Arklow had seen that I had kind of turned back a bit, and they got really worried because everything was being cancelled all over the country.
Yeah. And
they phoned ahead to the town I was coming to. I think it was Dunfanaghy. I have to look that up. To tell him, we think there's something wrong with Mary because she's stopped. She's gone back a bit. The little people, or the 4 or 5 people from that town came out, And I could see them coming out the road. I forgot I'm in a plastic bag and a pair of marigolds at this stage and my coat. And they were shouting, Mary. And I said, yeah. And they said, are you all right? I said, I'm fine. I have my coat. I must show you that video. I have my gloves. And here wasn't there someone videoing the whole thing.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of thing I had to do to survive. If I hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't have finished that day.
Yeah. And especially the marigolds to make your hands sweat.
Yeah.
They are lethal because I've used them. Like,
the core temperature came about 20 minutes up that road. I was fine.
And did you have a monitor, like measuring your temperature, your body?
No, I didn't have any of that fancy stuff. I had
fancy smancy.
No. I just you can't. I think if you overthink these things, in some towns I came into, they over pampered me. They were sticking me in seaweed baths and massages, and I literally nearly got sick. I was a bit that pampered, so I had to sort of say, "Lad, stop," because I can't. If I don't keep this attitude in my head right, it's not about you're exhausting me with the pampering.
Yeah.
You just need food, sleep, get up and go. Every day. But you can be over pampered.
You stuck to the same routine no matter what, did you?
I managed to make every target, every distance, every day that was set for me until that little old red weather warning hit.
Yes,
that brought me. I actually thought I knew it was coming in at 4:00 that day. I can't remember.
That was on the west, was it?
Yeah, I was over on the near Clymer. Wherever that. I've no sense of direction. No. I never know where I am.
I don't even know where it is. Clare somewhere
way
over
there. Mayo? No, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I got to there and I realized if I don't get to my destination by 4:00, I cannot be running on the road in a red weather warning. And I'm fundraising for services that rescue people. I cannot be out stuck on the road.
Exactly, contradicting everything.
So I've got to get off it now. It was the ice. Had to get on the Clymer ferry. That was it. And then I had to get to, I forget where I was going to, but there was a big truck going down. I was trying to get down to the Clymer ferry, and it's kind of a slope, and I was slipping and sliding and a big bag on my back. And this big lorry came down, trucker. And he opens the door and he says, hop in here, because to get on the ferry. And I climbed in and I'm on the ferry. And he gave me a lift because I couldn't run because time was running out.
Yeah.
Fair play to him. He gave me a lift to where I was to be.
Yeah.
I can't think of the place. And I ended up having to stay there for 2 nights.
Yeah.
Because the red weather warning. But I thought I was going to die because I could do nothing. All I could do was lie in the bed and look at the television and seize up.
Yeah, you were getting bored, I'd say.
Bored.
Yeah.
And I had given back my ski poles because I had bad weather in the north of Ireland. And I thought, sure, the winter's over now. I'll send my ski poles back to Arklow. I won't need them. I had to go out and buy a pair of poles because it was still, I think I was going to Tralee or somewhere.
Yeah.
To move the next day, I needed the poles because I could have broke my neck on the roads. But things like that happened, But that's all part of it. I wasn't expecting it to be a breeze. And I did pick up a lot of injury on the way, but if your mind is strong, and nothing was going to stop me unless I popped and died or something,
Yes, and the lap of the map then it was like a nationwide thing, wasn't it? And even I think you were on Late Show at the end of at the end of it as well.
Yeah,
you were renowned around the country for that. It was crazy. I just want to delve into a bit of your own life as well with Tony and your loss of your son. What age were you when that happened with Stuart?
Stuart, you see, I have my sense of time and how many years it's been since this or how many years it's been since that. Stuart was only 20. I'm not 100% sure what age I was. I was a lovely, lovely lad. He really was. He was a brilliant artist.
Yes.
But he was troubled, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was troubled, and he'd been involved in a dreadful accident where he lost his friends.
Yes.
Some friends. Never really recovered from that. Wouldn't talk about it. I did try to get him some help because I knew he needed it. The psychiatrist that spoke to him spoke to me afterwards, and he actually said to me, he said, MI5 and James Bond together will not get information out of Stuart Hickey.
Yeah.
It's gone too deep. He will not. And he never really did.
Yeah. There's some people that just can't open up,
No.
though, and they're like, and How did that make you feel then? The loss of your, like, no one should bury a son. So
No,
I say, was it tough for you to like motivate your sports and stuff with that? And at the time,
on that very day, I remember thinking, I know it's a bit selfish, but I remember thinking, first of all, I think I'll have to die myself, because you just don't feel you can carry on. And it's scary when that thought pops into your head. It's very scary.
Yeah.
But I have a younger son as well, and another son. And I just thought, we'll have to see. You can't deal with it there and then. You have too much emotion going on. So you sit with it for a while. But I did still feel I wanted to get out and do a run.
Yeah.
And something, to be honest, never in my life beforehand did I realize how important that bit of, that's my go-to to get rid of stress.
Your outlet. That's your crutch to carry on through times as well.
Yeah, it is. It can be. And, I never realized how important it was, because in my life we've had a lot of tragedy, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
But the running, you go for a 20-mile run, no matter what's on your head, when you get back, there's nothing left on you.
20 miles.
Get a cup of tea.
I wouldn't last 2 minutes.
Yeah. It does. You clear up a lot.
Yeah.
If you're a marathon runner and you go on a 20-mile run, you go through all the thoughts that you want to go through. You're away. There's nothing distracting you. You're in your own head, but you can think it all out and get through it all. By the time you're finishing that 20-mile run, in the last 5 miles, there's only one thing on your mind, and that's getting to the finish and getting yourself a cup of tea and a hot bath and relaxing and.
So that's probably going on nearly 30 years now, is it? That
it is actually, Stuart. Yeah, there's not a day goes by that he doesn't come through my head, not a day. And the same with my brother Michael, who passed at 27 years of age with esophagus cancer.
Jesus.
He went through hell as well. And, there's not a day that you don't think about them, know.
And when Stuart passed, like, there wasn't much back then as bereavement counselling. It was a different time back, like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
There was nobody really to talk to, and like bereavement counselling.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's a lot better now for people that have lost, and they can sit down and talk to people. There's a lot more help out there to try, if they don't have sports.
If they don't have something.
Yeah,
there is. But a lot of, I find, I could be wrong, but I think a lot of people don't avail either. They bury themselves in and they won't go and talk. Because I have a son, Tony, who's kind of buried a lot of things. And I know he has, but I know he has issues. But he's happy in his own little, and he lives with me. So we just, but he will not talk either. So
I was saying about the outlets, like only for music, I don't know where I'd be.
Well, this is it.
Do you know?
I think everyone needs to seek out their crew.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It doesn't have to be sport. It doesn't have to be singing. It doesn't even have to be art. But there's stuff out there for everyone, really.
Not many people know you're a twin.
Yeah. Twin. Tom
the twin.
Tom Sauce, they used to call him when he was young.
So he wasn't a sportsman?
No, Tom was a wild boy when he was young.
Yeah.
Tom had hair down to his rear end and he was at sea, you know. And
was he on the ships, like, working?
Yeah. He went off and got on the ships at 17 years of age and just stayed with it. He'd come home every now and then. He'd be stoned out of his head, falling around the garden. But he cleaned. Well, once he got over there and settled in England, got married.
Yeah,
he stopped drinking. I'm the wild one now. He used to be crazy. I used to nearly cross the road when Tom would be on the street.
Yeah. Does he not drink anymore?
Nope. Give it all up. Give up smoking. Give up the drinking.
How long's he off the drinking all now?
It's a good many years now.
Yeah.
But he did do it for a long time.
Yeah.
But he had an accident in England where he ended up in hospital with quite a few injuries. A motorbike ploughed into him on the footpath and sent him up in the air, came down, landed on a wall. So he had a lot of rehab. But it was after that, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, you think England was Australia because it's only across the water, but we don't see each other that often.
He hasn't been in Arklow now in how long?
He pops over now and then. He's talked about coming next year as well. His wife passed many, many years ago and he's with a new partner now.
Yeah. So. He has a few kids though, does he?
Look at Tom. Tom's had his tragedies even this year.
Yeah.
Tom has more grandchildren than I can count and great-grandchildren, and they're all gorgeous. But this year he lost his son. his son's son, 17 years of age,
Oh,
only there around Christmas time, crash, died.
Jesus.
So, like, it happens,
Yeah.
it's very hard on those people over there now in England.
So between you and Tom as twins, like, you both had your losses, and
Yeah.
and Tom was working on the boats as a sailor then, or was he in the army, or was he in the Marines? Or
I think he might have been in the merchant navy at one stage, but generally just on the big ships that left Arklow, back in the day.
A lot of people went, didn't they?
A lot of people went down and got on the ships and off they went,
He never came back. I know a few
No,
people.
he never came back. Yeah.
Good old Tom. I just want to get your opinion now at the situations in Arklow with the running track and that situation. Do you think it's an absolute joke over there, isn't it? Like
it's tough, because I actually have a photograph way back in the day when Nancy and Breda were still alive, and we had the plans for the track and the photograph and the people and what was going to happen.
Yeah.
We got a track over there, but it's not a great track. It's not really suitable. It's like a car park surface.
And even the leisure centre, like it needs a big revamp. Like
it all does.
Yeah, and like I walk a lot there with the dog.
Yeah.
And I know they've tried to put the stuff there, and they've tried to put a bit of playground there and the basketball nets and all that. But the whole thing needs a revamp.
It needs pulling together. It needs a big revamp, definitely. And it's the perfect area because the track is there. The sports centre is there, the swimming pool's there, the shopping centre's there, there's walks there, the
beach is there.
What's left of it after this storm.
Yeah.
But also, if they could only do that, finish that coastal protection all the way down to Porter's Rock would be fantastic. But if they don't do that soon and a couple of more storms come, there'll be nothing there.
No.
It'll all be gone.
I was wanting to always ask you that about the running track, because over there, and your son works over in the leisure centre as well.
Calvin,
so you must see, like, even the car parking outside the leisure centre, there's no markings, there's no nothing.
Yeah.
It's just
it needs
the grass is always up over your fucking knees around everywhere, like, and they come now and again, but it needs a good investment over there. Would you like to see that?
I'd love to see it. I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah.
But I would love to see it because I think it could lift the town, every town, not just Arklow.
Yeah.
Every town is struggling a bit. The centre of the towns are struggling, but we've got to realise times have changed.
Yeah.
Town centres are not what they used to be. You're not going to... Too many people are buying off
online,
the Chinese websites and buying online.
Yeah.
Like it's cheap tat, most of it. If they don't support the shops in town, there's no point in giving out about them being gone. They need people going into them, even if you're only going in once a week and spending a small amount.
Yes.
It helps.
Yeah.
It's like the chap who has the coffee shop over in the leisure centre. That's a small little business.
Yeah. Paul, is it?
Paul, yeah.
Paul's a nice man.
He's lovely.
Yeah.
But like, I started that coffee shop myself.
Yes, I remember. How many years ago did you start that?
Now you don't ask me.
Because I remember you being in it, like, when
I had got redundancy. I was retired. I think I was already a pensioner, and I just suddenly decided, this brainwave, I think I'll start a coffee shop. And I had to go look for funding, and I got the bit of funding. Now I had to get it. I had to go to AIB chap because I couldn't get it where I wanted to get it. But I went to AIB and I said, I'm going to go upstairs now. This young lad's going to be about 28 in a suit, and he's going to look at me and go, "Are you mad?" So I dressed myself up, went in with my little business plan. Thank God you didn't ask me any questions about it. I wouldn't have been able to explain it. And I told him what I was going to do. And I said, I need about, in them days, it seemed like a lot. I need about €10,000 to set it up, because I had to kind of gut the place and put everything into it.
Coffee makers and all that.
The whole lot.
Yeah.
And he just said to me, come back in a week. Now, I had already took steps that I was definitely going to do this. I needed this money.
Yeah.
So a week later, he phoned me, and I nearly dropped the phone because this was the decision. I actually did drop the phone in my friend's car, and I had to go root for it and get it back up. And I just said, hello. And he says, Mary, you sound awfully anxious. I said, that's because I am. And he said, you can have that whenever you need it. So that was it. I stuck it for about, I think it was 9 years over there. I kept going. I walked morning, noon and night. Actually, I was working the night before I headed off on my lap of the map,
Feed effect.
right up to the last minute.
Yeah.
I hadn't much time to plan.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
off
yeah.
I went. I was after the lap of the map, I kind of thought, no, I don't know whether I want to keep this going after, like I was already well into my pension.
Retired.
Retired.
Yeah.
So I gave it up about 2 years later. I actually said, that's it, I'm done. Someone else took it over for a while, but then Paul took it over.
Yeah.
And I hope people support him.
Yeah.
He deserves to be supported.
Yes, I've helped Paul myself with the Samaritan thing and the running, all the cycling he does. So
he's always trying to.
Yeah, and he's always promoting the leisure centre and that, even though it needs a revamp.
Yeah.
But how long were you in the coffee shop then? What age were you when you got the loan?
I think I was 69, standing in front of this fella in his suit.
Yeah.
And he's looking at me. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know he doesn't know me. I said, he's just going to take one look at me and he's going to go, no. But no, I said my piece and I said, this is happening one way or the other. I don't know how, but it's happening. And
Yeah.
And 5 years, I said, I'll pay it back in 5 years. I did not miss one payment, not one payment, because he was so good. I felt he was so supportive. I said, not letting this young man down. I will pay every penny and I will pay it on time.
Yeah. I just want to go back to one more thing there, Mary, about the marathon. So how many you've done? 1980 was the first one.
Yeah.
So up until 2024.
Yeah.
So you've done 44 marathons.
I did. Yeah. And this year was the first year I realized I have some injury, obviously, at 50, whatever years running, I'm breaking down. I can't get replacement like a car, so I may go with the flow. And this year, about maybe 3 months out from the marathon, I actually said to myself, I think I'm done. I don't think I can, I don't think I'd go this year. I didn't want to drag my body around it way down the back because I always competed. I've done quite well in the marathon and I thought I mightn't even make the cutoff where I'm injured. And I just thought, I think that's it. I think I'm done. And I let the marathon committee know because they've been very good to me as well. I said, look, lads, I'm not going to the start line, but they still wanted me up for all the publicity. I said, but I'm not actually going to run it. But you know something, it's this, I'm so honoured. They decided to invent a trophy called the Mary Nolan Hickey Trophy.
Really?
And I had to be up
there. Is this breaking news?
No, this happened last year.
Geez, I don't remember.
I had to be up there in Dublin to present this trophy to the First Lady home.
Yeah.
And it's going to be every year.
Oh.
I remember saying to the race director, so if I can crawl back next year, because for about 8 years I was getting the marathon for free because it's 100-something euro to enter.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
But all of us there's about 10 men and there was only me then. So us little group were getting our entry for free.
Yes.
And I joked with him last year when it was over. I said, now if I can get myself back, will I get a reduction next year? And he said, only if you can run faster than the first woman home because you have to be up there to present the trophy. So that's me. I'm done.
And like 44 years, like when you think it, that's how old I am.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
So you were saying about you have to fill out an application form. So do you get directly?
In the beginning, we used to have a paper application form.
But even now, like, do you have to apply or do you get automatic?
Yeah, no, I have to apply. I get a code. I still have to enter like properly.
Yeah.
But I get a code, which means they're not taking any money off me.
Yes.
But that's done now.
Yeah.
But I am delighted I made a decision because I finished the way I wanted to finish.
Yes.
24, I actually got second in my category because they incorporate the All-Ireland Championships into the marathon, the national marathon. So in 24, I picked up a silver medal.
Perfect.
In 25, I mightn't have even got it. I didn't want to end. I wanted it to end on a bit of a high.
Yeah.
And I decided that's it.
Yeah.
That's
so what was your fastest time out of 44 years? Do you reckon the first two you said to your man?
The second one, actually, I trained very well for that one. And I managed to get 2:57 and be fourth woman across the line.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was a good all-run.
So one off a medal. Well, everyone gets a medal, do they?
I don't. Everyone gets a finisher thing. Now in Dublin, I do appreciate these little things we get every year. But if I go to it might sound like I'm being brash, but if I go to an ordinary race, I don't take the medals. It's an awful waste of a little bit of metal, isn't it? To give everybody, thousands of people, medals.
That's lots of money, isn't it? Like, yeah.
Well, you pay the entry, but if they're short of medals, I just leave my medal there. They want it.
Yes, and that's for cancer. That is it.
Dublin?
Yeah, the Dublin. What is it? What charity?
Dublin is every charity. This year I done Dublin for the Kidney Association. No, I didn't do it. I was going to do it for the Kidney Association. So I cycled 200k instead.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know I wasn't going to do it. So Kidney Association, my neighbour Bridgie is on dialysis. So I thought, if I'm going to do it for a charity, it'll be for the Kidney Association.
Yeah.
So it's for every charity. You know, there's millions raised in the Dublin Marathon every year. Millions.
So you're finished. That's it now. No more marathons?
No more marathons, but I have a few little things in the back of my head that I might try and do. But I won't. I was going to try and do another lap of the map, but I'm not.
No.
Because cycling has become dangerous.
Yes.
There's too many cars. So, but I have another idea in my head that I might do for Parnell AC, but I'll keep that to myself for now.
So, Mary, thank you very much for joining me on this pilot episode of the Great Redhead Podcast. It's been a pleasure to talk to you again, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you. You're an absolute legend in the town, a legend around Ireland, and it's great to see you. And thank you very much for coming on.
Well, can I just say it's an absolute honour to be here. It's not every day you get interviewed by a person who's actually written a song about you.
Yes, the laugh of the map, man. Jesus, I forgot about that nearly. One thing I didn't mention was my own song that I wrote, but it's been an absolute pleasure, Mary.
Thank you for
joining me on the podcast.
And good luck with the future podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been Mary Nolan Hickey, legend around the town of Arklow and surrounding areas, for joining me on the pilot episode of the Great Redhead Podcast. Tune in next time. Good luck. Goodbye. See you then.